going to learn? We are going to learn about the load balancing. So first we need to understand what exactly the load balancing is and how we can set up the load balancer and what are the benefits we'll get if we are going to use the load balancer. There are different type of load balancers out there. So we are going to understand each load balancers and we'll have a complete hands-on and demo on that at the end of this class. Okay, just be with me for next 1.5 hours. So we'll try to complete the load balancer in today's class itself so that you'll get some time to do practice. Okay, so let's see what is load balancer. Let me just make a slide slow of this. Okay, and so a load balancer, if you talk about in computing, load balancing refers to the process of distributing a set of tasks over a set of resources with the aim of making their overall processing more efficient. That means it refers to a process of distributing a set of tasks over a set of resources. So the name itself, load balancer, load balancing, right? So whenever there are more loads on your server, like your server has been loaded with more tasks beyond the capacity, what will happen? If you don't have the load balancer setups, what will happen? It will crash. It will not able to handle the loads. And that time, we have to wisely use the load balancing options so that the loads can equally be distributed to the other available servers. So what happens here? A load balancer acts as the traffic cop sitting in front of your servers and routing the client requests across all the servers capable of fulfilling those requests in a manner that maximizes speed and capacity utilizations and ensures that no one server is overworked, which could degrade the performance. That means if your server is overloaded with the requests, with the tasks, right? Sometimes what happens if there are more applications running or more requests are there, your system, your applications gets engaged or busy with doing the task, doing the processing. What will happen? It will consume all the CPU resources, it will consume the memories. What will happen? Your service or your application, your server may get crashed, right? If you set up a load balancer, it will ensure that none of your servers are overworked or overloaded. So it will, all the works will be distributed equally to the available servers. So it acts as a traffic cop. That means it's kind of a router which will route your requests based on the health check received from the server. Every time a request comes, it will first, all the information should be with the load balancer so that it will accurately transfer or route the request to the respective available server. If a single server goes down, the load balancer redirects the traffic to the remaining online servers. When a new server is added to the server groups, the load balancer automatically starts to send requests to it. That means if a single server goes down, if you have multiple servers added to your load balancer, suppose 4 servers added to your load balancer, and all 3 are equally working, but you would have chosen the primary servers or the servers which should take more load. In case if that server goes down due to some issues, what will happen? Load balancer will automatically redirect the request which will be coming to that machine to the other available machines, so that you never get a downtime of your application. So the customer will never face any issues. So if you see this diagram over here, we have our internet and the load balancer is sitting here like a router. Suppose we have 4 servers which are added to this load balancer, and the requests are coming from multiple end user through internet, and the load balancer is the internet facing, and there they will be accessing the servers through the load balancer. So the request, whatever comes from the users, goes to the load balancer, and the load balancer is trying to distribute or redirect the request to the servers. So what will happen if something goes down server? Suppose the server, what will happen? It will immediately redirect the request to the another available server. So request, whatever we receive from the end user, will never get missed in case of any server down or any overloaded or slowness or anything. So a load balancer performs, these are the functions which it performs. It distributes the client requests or network load efficiently across multiple servers. Ensures high availability and reliability by sending requests only to servers that are online. Remember, if you have 7 servers added to a load balancer and 3 of them are offline, means you have not started or in a stopped condition, that means only 4 servers will be active and online, and the request will be redirected to those 4 servers only. That's why it says very clearly that only the servers that are online. That means only the active servers can be used or can be, the request can be redirected to them. Okay. So what the load balancer does, it ensures the high availability. That means your applications will always be available, like the Amazon claims they provide 99.999% availability, right? So that you'll give 100% of availability at least to your customers if you set up the load balancer, so that you'll never face any downtime or never face any applications shortage or application slowness, right? What it does again, provides the flexibility to add or subtract servers as demand dictates. So as per the demand, you can set up the template, you can set up the balancing target group where it can automatically add and automatically remove the servers as per your demand. If your demand increases, it will add the server. If your demand decreases, it will remove the servers. That capacity, that features, that functionality is also available in the load balancer. So what are the benefits of load balancing? It reduces the downtime, scalable. Scalable means whenever based on the requirement, okay, it will increase or decrease. Scale up, scale down, it will happen. Redundancy, flexibility, and more efficiency. Okay, these are the benefits of the load balancing. There are 4 types of load balancers basically in AWS. What AWS provides, it is application load balancer, network load balancer, gateway load balancer, and classic load balancer. More of this classic load balancer, which has been outdated now, it's not there. It's still there, but nobody using this classic load balancer. On top of this classic load balancer, we've got this application load balancer. Application load balancer, network load balancer, and they have newly introduced this gateway load balancer. Not newly, it's almost 1 year, more than 1 year they have introduced the gateway load balancer. So what is this?
Is there any difference between application load balancer and classic load balancer?
There are not much difference, but this is the older versions of the application load balancer. Sorry, this is the older versions. You can say the load balancer. Both are running, both are using the same layers and same network layer and everything. Okay, but these are the, we could say these are the legacy load balancer of AWS, which they removed it and
everything similar, but maybe slightly changed, GUI change or something like
GUI
that.
changed, and most of the the functionality also in between, the functionality also changed. It's not like only GUI changed, they changed the functionality also. The way it handles the loads, they have changed it. Okay?
All right.
We are not going to use it anymore.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So application load balancer. So we'll just understand more details in all the load balancer, because you'll definitely get questions. Definitely get questions. What is this application load balancer? What is the difference between application load balancer and network load balancer? Application load balancers are the best suited for load balancing of HTTP and HTTPS traffic. They operate at layer 7. So application load balancer operates on layer 7. Remember this, of layer 7 of OSI network model. If you guys remember the networking concept, when you have done might have done BTech or engineering or something networking concept, you would have learn about this OSI, right? Layer of the networking. There it operates on the layer 7. I'll just talk in our next slide. We have this complete OSI layer details. I'll explain you. Don't worry. So application load balancers are best suited for the load balancing of HTTP and HTTPS traffic. That means it's best suited for the web-based application, right? And they operate at layer 7. They are intelligent, and we can create advanced request routing, sending specified requests to a specific web servers. We'll see in details when we do hands-on and lab. That time we'll see how it is so advanced and intelligent to handle the request wisely. Okay. And what is the network load balancer? This just try to understand. This network load balancer best suited for the load balancing of TCP traffic, transport control protocol, where extreme performance is required. Extreme performance is required. It operates at layer 4. Network load balancer are capable of handling millions of requests per second. While maintaining the ultra low latencies, it is used for external performance, extreme performance. So that is the difference. What is the difference? We got 3 to 4 difference here. So application load balancer is best suited for the HTTP and HTTPS traffic, like web-based application, like for web servers. When you go for the network load balancing, when you need extreme performance. So for extreme performance, if you think about your database application, if an application is more database centric, like kind of trading applications, or like kind of some like financial applications, which is more dependent on the database, and which is required the first stage performance, like the lighting performance we need, right? That time we can go with the network load balancing. And application load balancer works on HTTPS traffic, whereas the network load balancer works on TCP traffic, that is layer 7, and this is network layer 4. And network layer is capable of handling millions of requests per second, which cannot be achieved in application load balancer. So in real time, based on your requirement, based on your applications, you have to set up the load balancer accordingly. And most of the companies, they go with the application load balancer. Okay, they go with application load balancer. And very rare, not even rare, more than that, companies who are preferring to go with network load balancer based on the, because they need high performance on your.
Does the organization tells us what to use, like which load balancer, or it's upon our analysis we have to do it?
Yeah, good question. So who is the organization?
The managers or
the managing managing director, or the organization who manages, right? They are the people who are sitting there, non-technical people who takes complete project management, who handles that, and they will not have ideas. So who will give them ideas? You and me. We are the people who have to give the solutions to them. So whenever there is a requirement comes, the requirement analysis comes, they will definitely call out the people who are involved into the analysis part or system designing part, right? So they have to understand the requirement basically, and suppose you are part of that, then obviously you have to suggest them. And based on the requirement, not only you, there could be many other people based on the networking, based on the computing, all these people will be sitting there, and they, based on the requirement, you have to decide and give a solutions or suggestions to the management, right?
No. Okay.
After then they will decide and they will say you and they will approve the, because see, network load balance is not so easy. It's highly costly.
Okay.
This load balancer itself costly. Okay?
So we have to come up with all the data like costing and all these things.
Everything. So whenever you provide a solution, if you're a solution architect, if you're providing any kind of solutions for your project to the company, make sure you have to take the first aspect of thinking about the cost, how you can reduce the cost, cost efficiency. That should be in your mind, and how quick you can deliver the things by using these services, and how the, and you talk about the, think about the availability, think about the services, think about the support, think about the security, think about the data integrity, think about the recovery, everything. But you have to prioritize the thing, right? And cost comes in the top, right?
Right. Okay.
So maybe
you.
a cost management is a separate model, billing and all.
Sorry.
So cost related things, the billing detail. So that is a separate topic, right? So,
Yeah, that is a separate topic. We have actually, see, every services, whatever we are learning has a cost, into it. But that cost billing part, you have to, right? Okay. I'll tell you during the exam, during the hands-on, right? During the lab classes, I'll show you how it will be, how you'll calculate it, and how the cost will be applicable for all the services, and for the load balancer specifically, why it is so costly. Okay, I'll tell you. So it is a different department at all. It is a different department, it's a different team, but the department will be handling the billing part. They will not understand the technical aspects, right? Who have to tell them? You have to tell them, right? These are the costs and these are the things, and they have to analyze all these things, and then they have to approve it. So as a solution architect or as a solution provider, you have to understand all the service very well with respect to the cost as well.
Business requirements.
Business requirement, right? The business requirement you need to understand. You need to understand the services better way, and then you have to move forward. So Karthik, got it?
okay. So as a solution architect, if you want to work, we need to understand all the services, or
It's not.
okay.
There are more than 500 more. There are around 500 services.
Yes, yes.
You are
Yeah.
not going to learn everything, right?
Okay.
You cannot learn everything. So
Okay.
that's why I said, based on the requirement, you have to choose that service. Let's give an example, real-time example. And if you are at your home, and if you're going to prepare a vegetable item like the sabji, if you're going to prepare it, so what you have to do, you have to go to the market and get that particular vegetables. You're not going to get all the vegetables and come home, right? Whatever is requirement for your preparations for the day, for the lunch, you're going to the market and get that particular vegetables. Suppose your wife or your mother is making biryani. So you have to go to the chicken biryani if they're making. So you have to go for the chicken, and the rest of the ingredients, you have to get it from the market and come to that and prepare it. Similarly, whatever things is based on a requirement, you have to go to the cloud market, choose from the various vendors, not only one vendors, few companies. Suppose it's not about you are working in one company. Suppose you are working in one company and your company has multiple cloud service providers. Then you have to choose which cloud service providers provides good service with minimum charges. The service-based companies like Wipro, TCS, CTS, and other Infosys, other companies, service-based companies, whoever providing services, cloud services to their customer, they think about, they have multiple cloud services they are using. They think about what are the best solutions they can provide, right? So they have to choose accordingly and deliver it to the client, right? So clear?
Yeah, clear. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good. So now let's, okay, so I'm just removing this classic load balances, not required, okay? So the gateway load balance we'll talk about when we do the hands-on, okay? I have not added that one here. So this is the OSI model, network model. I just have written it here so that whenever you go for the interview, at least remember these things, okay? So it is quite easily available in the internet. You can get it. So I have prepared this one. We have 7 layers, right, in the OSI models, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The first one is the physical, second one data link, network, transport, session, presentation, and application. So our application load balancer falls on layer 7, which works on the HTTP protocol, right? And the transport protocol, which is the network load balancer, which runs on this OSI layer 4, which is called transport layer, right? It is end-to-end connections, that is the TCP. That is why the end-to-end connection, why they are not using the UDP, user datagram protocol. They're using transmission control protocol, right? Which is end-to-end and keeps connections, like there will be no connections mismatch. So TCP is the faster than UDP. In case of UDP, there could be a chances of data mismatch, right? But TCP is more secure. Okay, that is a networking stop. I'm not going to go there. So our network load balancer works on the transport layer, that is layer 4. Okay, so this is the diagram. I'm not going to talk about all this layer now. Now, we have seen whatever the load balancing tops we discussed, everything actually in the one region or one zone. So that could be the requirement that could become like you might need to put a load balancing in different zones, cross-zone load balance. As the cross-zone load balancing enables you to load balance across multiple availability zone. Cross-zone load balancing enables you to load balance across multiple availability zone. Okay, what is this? Let's see the example here. And this is a load balancing setup which has been done, where you can see here we are going to use the route 53. We'll have a separate class on route 53 on networking part. Don't focus on this now. Okay, so here we have 2 regions, like 2 zones, AP South 1A, AP South 1B, and our 1A zone is having one load balancer, and 1B is having one load balancer. But if you see it here, 1A is having 4 servers added to this load balancer. Okay, and this load balancer and has only in this zone we are having only one server. So what will happen here in this part? We have 4 servers. Only 50% request goes to this zone, and 50% request getting divided into 4. So all servers are getting 12.5% load each. So it is very fine working. But here, if you think all 50% request comes here, and all 50% is being handled by only single server. So obviously there will be more load on this single server if you don't have applied cross-zone loading, in case of no cross-zone loading. Okay, so if you add cross-zone loading, what will happen? The 50% request, whatever comes to this region, this zone, that will be distributed to the another zone which is having less load. Now 50% request comes to this 1A and 50% comes to 1B. If we have set up the cross-zone load balancing, what will happen? This 50% will be equally distributed among the 5 servers. So totally 20% each will be used. So we'll see in details when we learn route 53 how the request can be redirected equally okay, by setting of a threshold, by setting of the parameter. Okay, we'll see in details. So let's see about this, how we can do a setups. Okay, now let's go to the console, and here what are we going to do here? We have the services. Go to the services, go to the EC2 section here. Under EC2, we'll find the EC2 sections here, right? See, we have two things called load balancing and auto scaling. Load balancing and auto scaling part is there, right? So what is this load balancing? Now we have these two things are there in this load balancing option. One is the load balancers, another one is the target group. So first, what we have to do, we have to create a target group. We have to create a target group. Let's go ahead. So before the target groups, you must have created few servers. You must have created few servers. So what we'll do before that, let's go to your EC2 dashboard, go to launch instance and create few servers and create few servers. Okay. So what I'll do here, let's do launch instance from template. Okay. I have few templates and I'm going to use it. Finance app. Okay. So I'm going to use this template. So you guys are about the template, right? I already have shown you the template, how you have to use the templates, okay? All these things in load balancing and auto scaling, everything we are going to use the template. That's why I covered templates in the very beginning, so that you'll have some ideas about the template and how you can use it, okay? So I use this source template and I have many versions available, okay? I have dev server version 5, which has install HTTPD and start the server. Good. And based on your requirement, I'm changing, suppose this one, dev install HTTPD start server. And this is the template which we had prepared, okay, which we had created. Now, if I go here and automatically based on the template, the things has been chosen here, like the Amazon AMI, right? Amazon machine image and all the instance types, key pair automatically gets picked up, okay? And the security groups also automatically picked up. And if I go to the storage, that's all, default storage, resource tag. If I go to the advanced details, here also you will see the particular things, this particular things has also been added. What is this? The user data. Based on the templates, I have added few user data here. What it does, it just install one HTTPD server, okay? And all these HTTPD servers being installed and it's getting worked, right? Now, let's go ahead and launch the instance. So what I did here, I just launched the instances. Now the instance is going to run now. If I go here, refresh it, we'll have the instances, 2 instances. It's running. It's running now, okay? So let's just wait for a few seconds, let it fully initialized, okay? Initialization is in progress, and then we'll access the server. So during the user data, we have already installed our web servers, okay? All the application deployment installations part during the server booting time or server creation time itself, we have done it, right? Now let's see if I get this public IP, right? Get the public IP, put it this here. That means the server is not running. Let me just log into this server. Here. 10, right? Now what I can do, let's see, system, city, status, inactive. Let's restart it. That means it did not work. Okay. Let's choose sudo system status. Okay, it's now running. So if I go here and just refresh this page, good. The user data maybe did not work. The user data did not work. Okay, on this server. Let's see whether this cd for www/html, and we have index.html, vi index. Nothing has been put it here. Just give me 1 second. I'll just put all these things here. HTML. Each one, something like good. Now save it. 1 second. Let me save this. Next, right? I just put it here. Now refresh this. We have this hello cloud, right? One of the servers is running. Now let's go ahead and create 2 more servers, because the load balancer we are going to give 3 servers there. Okay, minimum 3 servers we are going to give it. Now let's go ahead and launch instance from the template, but this time we are going to modify the template a little bit. Check this finance app. Okay, and what I'm going to do in this, we are going to select the source template version, same 5th version, and then we'll change that one in the user data sections. Okay, so let's change this to the 5th version. Wait to slow down. 5th version. Okay, what I'm going to do here, let's go directly to the advanced section and check why it did not copy this one. Here is the problem, guys. Here is the problem. Okay, what is the problem? Here I missed to provide the double quote. From here itself, the script broke down, right? From here itself, only it print this statement. After that, nothing worked. So that's, be careful whenever you're working on this. Okay, if you anything missed, it will not work. Got it? So, and the rest of the things looks good. Now let's do and launch instance. I did a mistake again. I should have do this immediately to create 2 instances, but it's okay. Let me go ahead and do one more again. I should have selected a number of instances 2. I need another 2 servers, right? I was telling. That's fine. I'll create 1 more servers immediately. So the number of servers you need, you can provide the servers here itself. So you can provide 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, whatever servers you want, you can provide it here. And based on the template you select, it will work. It will work. Okay. So let's go. As I directly change the template here, the code would have come there. It would have not saved it, right? So we have to save these things in the template, then only it will reflect here, right? So that's fine. I don't have time now. Let's go with all this and then launch instance. So now I created 3 instances. Okay, that's why. So be careful, because now whenever you are going to work on the load balancer, you are going to work on 3 servers, and you are going to pay for all these 3 servers. You're going to pay for all these 3 servers. Okay, that's why the load balancer is costly, because the servers whatever we are doing is under free service and only 8 GB. But companies, they will be using the higher versions of the servers, higher configurations of the servers, right? That's why they have to pay more money for that. And a load balancer, they minimum they will keep more 2 to 3, right? More than one server is required for a load balancer. So if they keep 3 or 4 servers, so they have to pay money for the 4 servers, right? So it is costly, right? So now what do you say here? Our servers are now started running here. Let's check this service, okay? And if I go here, what happened? It's not working.
Sir, did you open the port?
Yeah, the same port was updated, right? Same port was used. So it's because of the script didn't work. Okay. Yeah, the index file is created. That's there. So the system ctl start http. Okay. So I started the server now. See, it says hello cloud. Okay. Now, if I go here, maybe it is taking time to initialize it. That's why it is not because we have okay. It was taking initialize. It is taking more time to initialize. If I check this server, it would have run now, I think. So 179.188 server. Let's put this one. Yeah. That means our script is working perfectly. That whatever we have is working perfectly. But I started it forcefully because it was the initialized. So it's okay. I started it. Now what happens? These 2 servers, right? Let's copy and make all the servers equal. All the servers equal, right? And I'll just copy these things and exit it out from here. Just log into the first server. Because all those, whenever you were just going for a load balancer, all your applications, whatever attached to the load balance should be same. Okay, should be same, right? So I'm just going to change it here. So index.html. Right. Good. So all our applications are this one, hello cloud, so grateful day, and this. So all applications, all 3 servers are applications are working, right? Now let's set up the load balancer. Now set up the load balancer. Okay, I'll quickly do that. So what I'll do here now, let's go to your things. Now go to your target groups, load balancing section, target groups, create a target group. Okay. Now, so you can choose the basic configurations, whatever the target type, instances, IP addresses, Lambda functions, application load balancer, and all these things. Okay, if you're going for networking and all load balancer, you can go ahead and select this one. For the time being, because I have created the instances to set off, I'm going to use the EC2 instances. So let's select the instances. If you're going to use the IP addresses, then you have to select the particular IP addresses. And if you have worked on the Lambda functions, you can select the functions, Lambda functions, which will facilitate routing to a single Lambda function. And so when we go for the Lambda function for a serverless application, if you're deploying your applications or working your application serverless, like without server, so you can go use for the Lambda function. For the time being, I'm using this instances, okay? On the target group name, just give a name, okay? Name to this, I can just give a like demo ALB application load balancer target group ALB TG, okay? Demo ALB TG, and the protocol as it is HTTP, by default it's 80, right? And VPC, default VPC, protocol version, select what of the protocol versions you have. So HTTP1, go with, do a health check. So what will happen if you have set up this health check options? So load balancer, what it will do, it will do the health check of all of your servers attached to this target group. Okay, because based on the health check only, it will identify which server has more load, which server has come down, which server is required to be redirected the load. Okay, based on the health check it will do. So in advanced health check, you have to be make sure that when you want to run the things like transfer the or redirect the request. So healthy threshold, what do you do? The number of consecutive health check success required before considering an unhealthy target. So what will do? If you give 5, it will do 5 times the number of consecutive health check before it redirect to another server. So minimum 2, maximum 10. So I can give it as 3, right? Then unhealthy threshold. The number of consecutive health check failures. If it fails 2 times, then it will redirect. Okay, so you have to put 2 here. Timeout. The amount of time in seconds during which no response means a failed health check. Within 5 seconds, if it does not get any response from the server, then it will treat that as failure. Based on your requirement, you have to increase the timeout window. So when I say based on the requirement, means the nature of, based on the nature of your applications, right? Installed in or deployed in that server, you have to fix the timeout. The interval, and which interval do you want the health check to be done within the 30 seconds of interval. Okay, so let me reduce it to make 15. Okay, or if you want, just keep it for 30 seconds, no worries. Now what we'll do, and the success code is 200. If there is a success, then it will provide 200 code. RTBS tags are optional. Let's go ahead, click on next. Good. So here we can see when I add the next, it is asking us to register the servers which you want to be the part of this particular target group for the load balancer. So what do you have to do? Select what are the servers are going to be added in the load balancer. Include as pending below. From there, you selected include as pending below, and all these things is currently doing the health check, right? What it does, health check status is pending, right? Now let's create target group. Click on the create target group. Good. So now our target group is created. Let's do and check the health check. Okay, do the health check. So we have total targets are 3. So we have added 3 targets, 3 servers into the load balancer target group. 0 healthy, 0 unhealthy, unused 3 means the health check has not been performed yet. The health check has not been performed yet. All right. So what do you see here? In the target group, we have health check status unused. Let's refresh this. Okay. What is the message we are getting? We created the target group, but the target group is not added or attached to any load balancer. That's all. So we have created the target group now. Leave it here. Okay. Don't have to do here anything else. Go to the target groups. We have now this particular target group. Now let's quickly go ahead and create a load balancer. Let's go ahead and create a load balancer. Then click on this create load balancer. It's very easy. See here. It is giving complete details about this load balancer here. So nowadays they're giving the 3 load balancer on top, and the classic load balancer they're giving below, which previous generation, which are no more being used, Okay. So choose classic load balancer when you have existing application running in EC2 classic networks, the old classic networks if you're using, so you can go with that. Otherwise, you have to select this application load balancer. Okay. So these are the major three load balancers which are giving: application load balancer, network load balancer, and gateway load balancer. So it's given as choose an application load balancer when you need to flexible feature set for your applications traffic and ultra high performance. You have to go with network load balancer, right? And this is the figure it has given how it looks like, right? So when you choose for the gateway load balancer, choose a gateway load balancer when you need to deploy and manage a fleet of third-party virtual appliances that support Genève. These appliances enable you to improve security, compliance, and policy control. So if you go with firewall things, if you go for security things, compliance thing, right? Then you have to go for this gateway load balancer. So mostly you focus on these two types of load balancer, application and network load balancer. So now go ahead and select in this create button, right? Click on create. So when you create this application load balancer, give a load, like I can give demo ALB, so something like this, right? And you must do this as internet facing IPv4 and default VPC. We have not our own VPC, we have default VPC. And the mapping, what it says, select at least 2 availability zones, 1 subnet per zone. Okay, let me select all these availability zones, all these availability zones, because we have to make sure, otherwise if we don't put availability zone, there is no point of the load balancing technique. Okay, features will not get the features availability to work. Then security group, you can provide the security group. Suppose I want to provide this security group and which is having port 80 and all these things. This is not required, leave it, right? And listener routing, right? Here we are going to listen this target group with this port HTTP, and here you have to select the target group. This is the one which we had created, right? Select it, right? We have selected this target group. Fine. Add-on services not required, tags optional, and these are the summary. Check it out once. Go ahead and create load balancer. View load balancer now. So it is still provisioning. Okay, it is under provisioning. Just wait for it. Just wait for it. And if you want, just refresh this one. Provisioning, let it completely provisioned. Then what it says here, if you select this one, we have this DNS name. We need this DNS name to work on this, right? Provisioning and status, VPC ID, 3 availability zone, type of load balancer is application. Now, how your application should be connected to the load balancer? That's the main point to understand, right? How your applications need to connect to the load balancer by using this DNS name area. We are not going to use this server. These are the individual servers. These are the individual servers which are running and which are running the application. All your applications is being deployed on these 3 servers. I don't want them. What I need this DNS name. Thus, that will be your load balancer DNS, which will redirect the traffic to the respective online server based on the load, right? I'll just give you some examples till we stay with me for another 10 minutes, not more than that, okay? Let's go ahead and still it is under provisioning, right? Let's refresh this one more time. Yes, so we got this one is active now, right? Let's go to the target group and check whether those services are healthy or not, right? If I go to the target, whatever we had created, if I select this particular target and check the details, we have 3 servers which are unused, right? 3 servers which are, let's click this one. which 3 servers are unused. Let's refresh this. Wait for a few. See, now it says healthy. As soon as we activated the load balancer, as soon as we added this target group to the load balancer automatically started doing the health check. So when it started doing the health check, it found that all the servers are healthy and it displayed the result over here, right? So all the servers are healthy and responding well. So we have 3 healthy servers, 0 unhealthy, all are working fine. So now how we'll access the applications running, right? Let's go to the load balancer and select this one, get this DNS copied, right? Go here, paste it. See, we don't need the servers. So based on that, it's just redirecting the services. Now I'll give you a very good example now. Let's connect and do some changes to the servers. Okay, I'll quickly connect to the servers in the backend. Let's edit this index file to give you a demo. So I'll just add one more line here as BR, right? And put it here, kind of H2 tag. I'll just give us server number 1, something like this, right? H2 to identify the servers, right? Normally the application should be same, but just to identify how it, just see how it is working, I just gave us the server number 1. Let's server number 1. Let's save this one. Okay, let's exit out from this and log into our server. Okay, and here change cd for www.html sudo vi index.html. So here I'm going to add the same thing again, like h2 tag server number 2, right? Over. Let's give a blank line. Just save it. Done. So our server, 2 servers, I have changed with server 1 and server 2. And if I do here, refresh this, see, it goes to server number 1, it goes to the server number 3. This one, I have not given anything here. If I refresh, it goes to server number 2, right? The number of time I provide the request, see, it equally distributing to the different servers, right? Different servers. So here I just gave the numbers to identify how the load balancer is going to the respective server. But normally, remember, these things should not be there. All your applications should be equally deployed with the same functionality and features within the servers, whatever is being added to the load balance. Suppose I'll delete one server. Suppose I'll delete one server. What will happen? Let me delete one server, right? Let's go quickly to the instances here. And suppose I'll delete one of the server. Any one server I'll delete. So remember, I cannot delete 2 servers because the load balancer is required minimum 2 servers to work. Minimum 2 servers to work. So I'll just terminate. I just terminated one server, right? I just terminated one server. So if I go to the target group here, I'll see here. Let's just open this. And we have still gives 3 healthy. Let's refresh this one because it's taking time to do the health check. The load balancer will take 30 seconds or some time to do the health check, right? Just wait for a few seconds. As soon as the health check is done, it will give us the result of the server as unhealthy. Okay, as unhealthy. Okay, still deleting it. It's not yet deleted. Okay, still it gives healthy. That's fine. Now, if I do refresh this page, see, we have only 1 and 2. What is the 3? We have only 1 and 2. So I deleted the third server. I deleted the third server. So only 1 and 2 are there. Now, the load balancer is sending the requests to the available server. Okay, to the available server. In case, so in your mind it will be coming, right? How we can add more servers to the load balancer? This is a question to you guys. How we can add more servers to the load balancer? Can anybody answer? How we can add more servers to the load balancer?
Add manually if you want, or in the instance template.
Yes. Okay. Yes. One thing is you have to add it manually. Also, you can do automated way also. The automated way I'll teach you when we finish the auto scaling. There is one option is there, right? Another service is called auto scaling, right? Once we finish this auto scaling part, I'll show you how automatically you can add the servers into the load balancer. That's a very advanced one, and it should understand at least most of the companies. Whoever using this load balancing concept, definitely they are using both auto scaling and load balancing. They are using it. Okay. So you can add this, Kumar, whatever you said is correct. You can add, if you're not going for auto scaling way, you can add it manually. You have to add as many as servers you want. You have to add into the target group, and automatically you don't have to add anywhere. You have to simply add into the target group. Don't have to touch the load balancer. Automatically the load balancer will pick it up and do the health check. Now, if you see here, it says unhealthy. After the request timed out, right? It did 5 times, right? It did 5 times health check. After that, it failed. Based on the setup we had done, based on the health check parameter we had provided, it gives us unhealthy. The server has been deleted, right? It says unhealthy, right? If you refresh it, it's gone now because the server has already deleted, right? This is how you have to do the setups of load balancer and start working. Hope this is very clear, guys. And if you have any doubt or anything, just ask me now. We'll have lots of discussions we'll do. Or else in our next class, we'll talk about the auto scaling. Don't miss next class day after tomorrow. And we'll see how automatically we add the servers through auto scaling to load balancer. Okay.